My name is Bahati Ernestine, and I am a registered nurse trained at Moi University in Eldoret, Kenya. I am a former refugee from Rwanda who was living in Kenya, and I lived in Kenya as a refugee for about 27 years. While I was doing my nursing degree in Kenya, I was part of the Beyond Sciences Initiative chapter at Moi University. In all the years that I was in Kenya, it was very hard for me to plan for my future because getting work as a refugee in countries of asylum can be difficult because of translation of the policy into practice. And this has been the case in many countries of asylum for many refugees. I am currently based in Nova Scotia, Canada, and I came to Canada through a labor mobility project that is called EMPP. In full, that is the Economic Mobility Pathways Pilot. And this is a pilot project that was championed by the Government of Canada to attempt to open up labor mobility pathways and make them accessible to refugees. I was among the first few refugees to come to Canada through such a pathway from Africa, and it has been quite the journey. When refugees seek asylum in a country, they have a right to durable solution. Usually, being a refugee is meant to be a temporary situation, but unfortunately, we find many who are in this state for many years. And as you've seen in my case, it had been for 27 years. Usually, the durable solutions that can be made available can be in the form of voluntary repatriation or local integration in the country of asylum, or third country solution. Traditionally, refugees had been resettled to third countries based on humanitarian grounds, and this was the first instance where refugees were being resettled not on the basis of their refugee claim, but based on the skills that they have. In this video, I'm going to share with you the thoughts of different actors who are part of the EMPP pilot, as well as the thoughts of myself and my colleague who went through the process ourselves. I hope you enjoy. I'm here with Agnes. Agnes is among the first who migrated to Canada through the EMPP Labor Mobility Program, along with myself, and I will let her introduce herself.
Thanks, B. My name is Agnes Lomoro. I'm originally from South Sudan, but I've grown up in Kenya. And that's where I did my schooling and my nursing degree, and where I stayed until coming to Canada.
Awesome. So I went to Moi University. Where were you for nursing school?
I was in Daystar University.
Daystar, yeah. That's in Nairobi, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been a nurse?
Well, I graduated in 2018. And did my internship in 2019.
Okay, so what was it like looking for a job in Kenya? Were you able to work formally in Kenya? And what were the challenges looking for work as a nurse in Kenya?
When I finished school, my expectations were to get a job, though I knew the chances were also slim, because being a refugee, it was just kind of a 50-50 thing, and it just it really happened that way, that immediately after finishing, we kind of started looking for jobs, but I couldn't get a job. I couldn't get formal employment. All my employers wanted me to have a work permit in order for me to have.
So the challenge at this point, sorry to interrupt, was a work permit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so most employers couldn't employ me on those bases, and I had to, the ones that could really could offer me, they could just offer me casual, that I would just be working casual, and those are the hospitals that I did my clinicals in. So they kind of knew me, yes. And they kind of knew me as a student, yeah. So they're kind of really happy to help me do my casual in their hospitals. It was discouraging at some point, because here you are, you've done your schooling and you expect to be working, and yeah, you need to pay your bills, but you don't have a job. So yeah,
I guess similar to myself, and I guess many others who have gone to school and are at a space where they don't know where to go from there. And I'm curious to hear from you. Did you ever think about what your future would look like? At that point, before the opportunity came to go elsewhere and get job, what were your thoughts or your plans surrounding your future?
Um, I really didn't have so much dreams. I just knew I wanted to get a job. I wanted to get a job.
Bare minimum.
Yes, I just wanted to get a job and stand up for myself. And if I got lucky, I'd get enough money to get my parents out of the refugee camp. That was just my dream, like just make something for my family and being able to get them out from the life of being in a refugee camp. So that was just my dream. So when I realized I was not getting a job and I don't have money on my hand, it was frustrating for me.
Yeah, definitely. And so I can imagine the excitement when the opportunity for applying for a job in Canada came.
Yeah.
Where did that opportunity find you, if you can remember?
Yes, I remember the opportunity came, which I thought it was just, that by the way kind of thing. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, as long as I've started, and I mean as long as I know I tried. So if it doesn't come through, well, I tried. So it started. I heard about the opportunity in 2019 when I was finishing up my internship. I remember my aunt then, a close family friend, actually not an aunt. We're doing a business selling granules to refugee point, and then we went to the board and saw the economic mobility thing, something new that's taking skilled healthcare providers to Canada.
Yeah.
And then she looked at me like, this is an opportunity. I'm like, what?
Aren't you a nurse?
I'm like, oh my God, yeah, we're kind of really excited at that. We took the contacts and I sent in my CV, and that was it. I didn't hear from them for a year. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's not happening. So I got their reply, I think, after some time when it was really I think the thing was picking up again.
Yeah.
So yes, that's when I applied and everything just went on from there.
Okay, so fast forward to and by the way, that's how I met Agnes, through the program, and we came to Canada. So fast forward to being in Canada. What has it been like in terms of the freedom to work and the being able to plan for the future? How does that compare, or how was that progression from how things were in Kenya?
Well, for me, that it really felt like a dream come true. I had a job finally.
The bare minimum.
Yes, the bare minimum. I had it. Yeah, I had a job, and I was paying my bills. Yeah, and I knew I didn't have to depend to someone to to pay my bills and have maybe food on my table. And the other thing is I could send money home. I mean, I was really happy. I felt blessed at that point.
Yeah.
So which I still am. I feel I'm blessed. And then the other thing is like just having to know that many opportunities are going to come up after this. Like I've been given the wings to can I say maybe to fly, and I can create my life from here.
Yeah.
If that's I can say I can create my life from here, and I have no obstacles, because in Kenya it was really basically no work. Like the opportunities were not there, and I really did not know how to maneuver life from there. I didn't know what the future held for me and for my family, and my aspirations are kind of really dimmed at that. So here I am. I feel like I've been given the chance to kind of recreate my life, and I guess.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Agnes, for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you.
My name is Sarah Wiseman, and I am the Canada Director of the Shapiro Foundation. The Shapiro Foundation, in the context of labor mobility and EMPP, is really here to be a facilitator of connections as much as anything else. So the Shapiro Foundation has been working in partnership with the federal government of Canada since I think it was 2018 in the space of labor mobility. and from early days just saw the potential that this program holds. So in really simple terms, there are all sorts of labor shortages on the Canada side. And on the other side of the ocean, we know that there are millions and millions of people living in situations of displacement. And the theory of labor mobility in the early days before it was tested was that there must be a bridge to create a pathway between the displaced individuals who have the right skills and training and language and work experience and those labor shortages on the Canada side. So the first pilots of labor mobility and EMPP were tested out in Canada in 2019. And I have the joy of living in the small rural community where one of those first pilots has now brought 14 families to the area. And it's been really exciting to see not only the technical success of the program and the fact that the individuals who applied to the jobs were able to prove that they have the requisite skills and training and language and experience, but that they've come here and been able to be successful in the roles, and that it's not a program that's just a benefit to those individuals who are applying for the jobs. This is a program that is an incredible benefit to the employers who are able to source highly skilled individuals. And as a community member, I can tell you it's also a really incredible benefit to the community. We are seeing growth in population and growth in diversity, and we now have some of those first EMPP candidates who came to the area are helping inform the partners and the resources and the tools that are being developed around EMPP to make sure that the program is only more successful as we go forward. So a lot of the role that we play is making sure that the right partners are around the table, that EMPP and labor mobility should not be viewed as a success just for being a successful recruitment effort. That success is going to be measured by recruitment and retention, and that retention happens when real community integration and holistic settlement is involved as well. So we're really pleased to be part of this effort of making sure that settlement partners are around the table and NGO partners who are focused on the needs of the individual before they travel to Canada, and that there is a warm and welcoming both workplace and community waiting for them on arrival.
Hi, I'm Becky and I'm with the Pictou County Partnership. We started working to support EMPP in 2019 with our community-driven pilot. So we set out to prove the concept that we could match skilled refugees with employers that had labor shortages and have them go through traditional economic immigration. I'm happy to say 3 years later that we have proved the concept and we've learned a lot along the way. From the employer perspective, EMPP has been really valuable, particularly in healthcare, where so far our efforts have been focused. In Canada, and particularly in Nova Scotia, we are seeing a lot of chronic shortages. So we know in key roles like continuing care assistants that are taking care of our aging population in long-term care facilities, there is a constant hiring need that just cannot be met by the local population. What we've been able to do is work very closely with a number of partners, and in particular with Refuge Point, who has been our partner on the ground in Kenya, and they were already working to support the refugee population. So they were able to help identify the skills that the employer would need to fill those particular continuing care assistant roles, and they also supported the individual candidates through every step of the process while we worked together to solve problems on the immigration processing and how to make sure that they all were approved. I'm happy to say we did have 100% approval, which is really exciting. From our 2019 pilot, 14 job offers were made, and we've now welcomed 13 new community members in those CCA roles, and many of them came with family as well, including 2 babies already born in Canada, which is really exciting. So in Pictou County, we're really happy that we're able to grow our population while also thinking about outside of our borders and how we can help with a humanitarian crisis that is just increasing every day a lot around the world.
Hello everyone, my name is Janet Oma. I am the program coordinator working for Refuge Point out of office here in Nairobi, Kenya, and I've been with Refuge Point since 2014. Refuge Point is a non-profit that focuses on advancing lasting solutions to refugees and supporting the humanitarian community to do the same through providing direct services to clients through supports or direct casework to augment the processing for durable solutions such as resettlement, and by building the capacity of partners in the field to increase and strengthen their capacity to identify and support refugees access third country solutions, and also working to positively influence and inform global system to make them more refugee-centered and increase access to lasting solutions. As far as third country solutions programming is concerned, Refuge Point works through our programming here in Nairobi to identify and refer refugees who are in need of resettlement. And globally, we are implementing a program in collaboration with UNHCR to resource them and build or augment their capacity to identify and process refugees for resettlement. We largely work in Sub-Saharan Africa and in the Middle East and North African region, but we do have a global outlook as far as working in different UNHCR operations out of these two main geographical areas, predominantly providing casework support for resettlement and complementary pathways, which include supporting refugees apply for education opportunities such as sponsorship and scholarships, supporting refugees access economic pathways such as labor mobility, providing casework support for refugees and their families to be reunited through different family reunification programs in countries of asylum and countries of destination. Since 2018, Refuge Point, through its office here in Nairobi, Kenya, has been implementing a project called the Economic Mobility Pathways Pilot, or the EMPP, in collaboration with the Canadian government, with UNHCR, and partners here locally and in Canada to initially pilot and test the possibilities for refugees to move on economic or labor-related visas and to use those pathways as access to durable solutions. Over the years, since the implementation of the pilot, which initially proved two things. First of all, that refugees have the skills, they have what is required in terms of language abilities, and are able to very aptly meet and impress employers and meet the needs of employers who are sourcing for refugee skills and talent. And that secondly, it is possible for refugees to move through those pathways and actualize durable solutions. So we have realized that the main barriers need to be addressed by governments, by NGOs, and by other partners coming in and applying creative solutions around flexible approaches where immigration processing is concerned, because largely barriers relating to access are very centered on the refugee context and the context of forced displacement, where things like access to work, education, credentialing, and other aspects relating to just the realities of what families are in the refugee context do present as a barrier. So we've realized that yes, it is possible, this is a viable pathway. There are immense opportunities for scale up when all partners come on board, step in and really apply approaches that are able to scale this up and to open the opportunities not just in Canada but beyond.
Agnes and myself represent many refugees who have skills, who are willing to make a contribution to society but are put in positions where they're not able to do so. Pathways like labor mobility offer this unique opportunity to refugees who may not have access to third country solutions through traditional resettlements. And these opportunities eventually may trickle down to benefit even more through the families of the candidates who resettle thus. The dream is to see many more skilled refugees take this pathway, many more refugees to get new homes like we did. There's still a lot of work left to be done to make this accessible to many more people, to make governments open their doors to many more refugees. And I hope that someone listening today, in whatever position you may be, whatever influence you may have, that we can all come together and become allies and become advocates, be able to share any resource that we have to make this possible and give homes to refugees who are in need. Thank you.